Hi, and welcome to episode 1 of Regrouping for Recovery podcast. I'm Miss Ann, and I'm your host for this podcast. I'm your hostess for this podcast. Now, hostess is a cake. That's not right. I'm Miss Ann. I'm your podcast person for this podcast. That sounds even more ridiculous. Let's do this. I've procrastinated enough about getting the podcast done. This is episode 1. We're going to figure it out. We'll just go ahead and get started. I've procrastinated enough. Like I said, you know how it goes. You start thinking about, oh, I'm not going to sound right. Oh, it's not going to be listened to. Oh, I don't have too much to say. Or, oh, I don't know the technology. And all those things are probably still rolling around in my head. But you know what? It's going to be good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be. And you've probably had times too where you've procrastinated about things and you put things off and waiting for the right time. That's always a good one. It's not the right time to do it. I got to wait for the right time. I don't know when the right time is, or maybe a better time. I need a better time to do it. And you put things off. You know what? I didn't know how to write a book, and I wrote a book. And I didn't know how to put together a website. Well, I still don't. I got help on that one. I didn't know how to write a blog, and I've written blogs. I'm in the blogosphere. So now this is it. This is episode 1. We're in the podcastosphere. So this is new turf. But you do that too. Whatever it is that you're putting off, take this example. Just do it. You know, you'll feel better that you did. It'll be good enough. That's what I'm saying. We're going to visit today, and this will be good enough. And we'll share this time, and I hope it's helpful for you. You know what I always like to do, though, before I get started on my groups? I run a lot of groups, and before I do it, I like to do some deep breathing. So if you'll just indulge me in this and do some deep breathing along, I appreciate it. So let's do this. Let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Feel yourself filled with love and positive energy. Feel yourself getting stronger and stronger, and hold it, hold it, hold it. Push out all that negative energy, negative thoughts, negative feelings. Let them go, let them go, let them go. Our next one, take a nice deep breath in. Feel yourself filled with love and positive energy. Feel yourself getting stronger and stronger, and hold it, hold it, hold it. Push out all that negative energy, negative thoughts, negative feelings, woulda, coulda, shouldas. Let them go, let them go, let them go. Our next one, take a nice deep breath in. Feel yourself filled with love and positive energy. Feel yourself getting stronger and stronger, and hold it, hold it, hold it. Push out all that negative energy, negative thoughts, negative feelings, woulda, coulda, shoulda, shame, grief, loss, pain, doubt. Push it all out. Our last one, take a nice deep breath in. Feel yourself filled with love and positive energy. Feel yourself getting stronger and stronger, and hold it, hold it, hold it. Push out all that negative energy, negative thoughts, negative feelings. Let them go, let them go, let them go. And please do that throughout the day. Do your deep breathing. Take a moment, do some deep breaths. You don't have to use my count. You can use box breathing, or you can use a 5 count or a 4 count or some count or no count. Just go ahead and do your deep breathing. Just take mindful moments throughout the day and just do some deep breathing. Just focus on your breathing and just be in the moment. Don't let the day pass without spending time in the moment, right here, right now. Thanks for indulging me in that. You know, I want to talk about regrouping, so you know what we're doing here on this podcast and what we're doing on the book. And as a dear friend said to me when he treated me to lunch, he said, you know, Ann, you're a struggling writer now. Well, call me what you want. I am a struggling writer, so please buy the book. That's first and foremost. I wrote a book called Regrouping the First 100 Days, and it's available. There's a link on the website, regroupingforrecovery.com. That's regrouping number 4, recovery.com, and it's on Amazon. But please buy the book, look at the book, use the book. That's the most important thing, to use the book. So I wrote this book for people who are in early recovery. And what I've noticed is a lot of folks, they leave treatment and they're feeling really good, really confident. And it doesn't take long before life hits. And maybe you can relate to that. And all of a sudden, the same things that you were doing in treatment, the same things that you were doing maybe in an IOP program, the same things that you were doing going to meetings and doing all the things, life hits and you get busy. And then that voice in your head starts taking over, and it starts saying things like, you're too busy to go, you're too tired to go, and you stop going to meetings. And you have all these phone numbers that you've left treatment. You got all these people you want to keep in touch with. And then that voice in your head takes over and it says, They don't want to hear from me. I don't want to be a burden. They've moved on. They're not going to remember me. All that stuff starts going on. And the next thing you know, you're feeling lonely and isolated, and that's feeling ripe for relapse. So I wrote this book with a particular thing in mind. I said, what if you had a specific reason to call people? You say, hey, let's regroup. Use those numbers that you got in treatment. You're going to use that phone with all those numbers stored that you haven't been in touch with people for a while. You say, hey, I got this book and I'm doing this regrouping thing. Let's get together. And you're just going to get together for about a half hour, the same amount of time that you're going to probably spend on the podcast tonight, or maybe you're going to spend an hour. It depends. Are you bringing Little Debbie's or Miss Freshly's? Are you bringing some hostess? I got distracted there for a minute. But it could evolve into more of a social gathering. But what you're going to do is you're going to call up somebody and you'll say, hey, let's regroup. I got this book. Remember the book, I'm a struggling writer. So I got this book and it says we need to regroup. So you sit down with a couple of friends, 2 and 3 friends I'm talking about. And what you're going to do is you're going to have some shared agreements at the beginning. You're going to say, hey, look, we're just going to meet for X amount of time. We're going to discuss the stuff in this book and on these video clips. And you know what? We're just not going to go off on these war stories. You know what? We're not going to talk about our problems. Hey, you know what? We're not going to talk about, the weather and politics, the usual stuff. We are going to talk about, well, maybe sports, but we're going to focus on this book. So that's what you do. You meet and you open up the book and you turn to a video clip, because that's what the books are. They're references to video clips. These are 100 videos that I've found useful. I thought you might enjoy. You go ahead and you open it, you tune in to one of those video clips and you watch it together. But the magical thing about regrouping is you start sharing, because there's discussion questions with the video clips and you start sharing on a different level, and that will open up the door to more conversations and deeper conversations. And you do the same thing tomorrow and the next day, 100 days, and we'll get you through early recovery. And that was the whole thing behind regrouping. So I hope you're interested in that. Maybe you're not in early recovery. Maybe you're thinking about it. Well, the videos might be helpful for you too. Or maybe you say, hey, I just kind of like videos. That might be interesting. Yep, get the book. I'm a struggling writer. Please get the book. And now I'm a struggling podcaster. So I appreciate your listening. So that's the story behind regrouping, but that's really not what I wanted to talk about today. My whole website, the book, is all about encouragement. You're doing something very, very unique by being in recovery. You're doing something very important in recovery. You know, I've worked in social services most of my life. One of the things that I see time and time again is problems with addiction. And again, I told you I wasn't going to talk about problems because that's not the spirit of regrouping. Just a recognition of what I've seen addiction do. It takes everything. And if you just run a quick inventory, like I'm sure you have at different points in your life, you start thinking about, well, what does it cost me? What has my addiction cost me? Has it cost my health? Has it cost my family? Has it cost my kids? Has it cost me money, my job, my home, maybe my identity? Maybe I can't look in the mirror anymore. And that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. I was reading a book, part of the thing we do on the website, I have a little section called My Bookshelf, and I like to write just little reviews of books that might be helpful for folks in recovery. And you might like some of them. You may not. You might. But I try to give you a little flavor of the books. So, you might get them. You might find them in the library. They're older books. You probably find them in the library. As you do it, you find something helpful in recovery. I was just reading one. We're going to upload it to the bookshelf probably the next day or so. It's Judith Grisel and her book Never Enough, The Neuroscience and Experience of Addiction. And this is published by Vantage Books in 2019. And she was writing about her rock bottom, and that kind of stuck with me. And I said that would be a perfect episode 1 podcast, the podcast I've been procrastinating about doing. So she writes about her rock bottom, and she says, it really started when I was looking in the mirror and I got a creeped out feeling. This isn't a quote. This is a paraphrase. She did say creeped out, but she got this creeped out feeling looking in the mirror, looking at her own eyes, looking at her face. And she says, I saw the truth. I saw behind the masks and illusions, and I really saw how I was living. I saw what my life had become. And that was the rock bottom for her. That was the turning point for her, looking in the mirror. Now this is a great book. If you're interested, we're going to put up the review pretty soon. She talks about her addiction. She talks about using alcohol and cocaine and becoming an IV drug user. She talks about all this, but she also talks about becoming a neuroscientist. She's a behavioral neuroscientist, and she's very successful. And you know what? You can be too. Whatever your starting point is, you can be too. I'm not saying you can be a behavioral neuroscientist. We all can't do that. But what we can do is we can be the person that we're here on the earth to be. And that's the thing. And it starts with looking in the mirror. And I worked with a counselor. We called him Chris S. So if you're out there, Chris S., and you're listening, I've invited you to be my podcast buddy. So at some point, I'm going to invite you to come on here and explain what we're talking about here. But he used to tell people, he'd always encourage people, he'd say, look in the mirror. Sometimes you're not ready to do it. Sometimes you have to take a little side glance or have the light down low, but you'll get there. You need to get there. Always encourage the clients to look in the mirror. So when I read Judith's book and she's talking about looking in the mirror, I was reminded of that. But I was also reminded about something else. I was also reminded of Michael Jackson's song, and it's one of my favorite songs, The Man in the Mirror, and I hope you've heard it. It's an old one at this point. I didn't realize it was that old. It's from 1988, and if you haven't looked at it on a video, I don't have a link for it. We're not going to put up a link for it because I don't know how these copyrights run with music. I think I have to pay royalties if we play anything. The music that you'll hear on these podcasts are songs that I wrote with my co-author Slash. So that's from Sherry and Reese. Sherry/Reese from the 2015 era. So more on that at another time. Back to Michael Jackson. He says, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. When you look in the mirror, men and women, when you look in that mirror, talk about changing your ways. He says, no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make a world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. You know what? When you look in the mirror, you want to make home a better place? Do you want your identity to be in a better place? Do you want your relationship with your higher power, the Most High? Do you want that to be in a better place? What do you want to be in a better place? That's what you see when you're looking in that mirror. See the possibilities. Look in those eyes. See the possibilities of what's ahead. You can do this. You got to do this. I'm talking about making a change. And here we've got Father's Day coming up. And I'm going to talk to the men out there right now because I want to share something about my own father, God rest his soul. He was able to conquer his demons, and he quit drinking. And you know what? It was probably a very hard thing for him to do. We never had a conversation about it, but he quit smoking too. And I say with 100% certainty, I had the best father in the world after that. And I miss him. And I miss him dearly. And here it is 20 some years later, but I miss him. And you know what? As you look in that mirror, you can rebuild those relationships too. If you're a father, the best thing that you can do for your kids, the best thing that you can do for your family is to get sober and be sober and stay sober. Go to a meeting today if you don't know how. Get some help. There's numbers to call. There's AA meetings, NA meetings, Smart Recovery meetings, Recovery Dharma. There's so many resources out there. Please do it. All your future relationships depend on it. I didn't have a great relationship with my father when I was young, but I certainly did after he quit smoking, after he quit drinking. I had the best father in the world, and I miss him. And here it is, like I said, 20 some years later. You don't want to be the man who says, my kids never knew a sober dad. You don't want to be the guy that says, I wish I had a better relationship. I would have, I could have, I should have. You don't want to be that man. Be the man that has that good relationship with his family, and it starts with getting some help, putting this disease in check, putting this disease in remission so that you can live a sober life. I'm sorry I got a little emotional there, but I didn't intend that for podcast episode number 1, but it is what it is. But if you're thinking about becoming sober, don't just think about it. It's doable. They estimate that there's 23 to 25 million people in the U.S. that are in recovery right now. Unfortunately, there's probably an equal number of people that are struggling with addiction. It's not an easy thing. This disease takes many lives. This disease takes families. This disease takes potential. But there's an opportunity for change when you look in the mirror, the man in the mirror. Start with the man in the mirror. Ask him to change his ways. You can do this. I know you can do it. I've seen so many people in recovery. I've worked in treatment for about 5 years now. I see so many people doing well. It really warms my heart when out of the blue I'll run into somebody in the community. You know who you are. You'll say, Miss Ann, hey, remember me? Sometimes I don't remember you at all because you know what? Health looks different than addiction does. And sometimes people are glowing when I see them, and it really warms my heart. And you can too. Start with the man or woman in the mirror. Make the changes. Change your ways. Make your home, make your family, make your life a better place. Make your relationship with your higher power a better place. You can do this. I'm Miss Ann. This is podcast episode number 1. If you'd indulge me in another round of deep breathing, I appreciate it. Let's do this. Let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Feel yourself filled with love and positive energy. Feel yourself getting stronger and stronger, and hold it, hold it, hold it. Push out all that negative energy, negative thoughts, negative feelings. Let them go, let them go, let them go. Our next one, take a nice deep breath in. Feel yourself filled with love and positive energy. Feel yourself getting stronger and stronger, and hold it, hold it, hold it. Push out all that negative energy, negative thoughts, negative feelings, woulda, coulda, shoulda, shame, grief, loss, pain, doubt. Push it all out. Our last one. Take a nice deep breath in. Feel yourself filled with love and positive energy. Feel yourself getting stronger and stronger, and hold it, hold it, hold it. Push out all that negative energy, negative thoughts, negative feelings. Let them go, let them go, let them go. Hey, thanks for spending this time with me. I appreciate it. Please do your deep breathing throughout the day. A silent intention of peace and love to all of you tonight. And please do a silent intention of peace and love to your family, your friends, and somebody who might be struggling tonight. Thanks so much for joining me.